This livestream solidified the dangerous direction of Honkai Star Rail. I think the freebies are distracting us from what's actually going to happen to this game, and this video wants to discuss all of that. To put it bluntly, Lewitch is a bad 5-star, and Neuron May is becoming more obsolete with every patch, especially with each Harmony unit that's coming out. They're distractions, so we talk about these two characters rather than the bigger problem. They want you to log in and use the free pulls, and then play with whatever character you choose to pick. Ultimately, none of them change anything for your account, and it was a choice to put these two characters there as the initial freebies rather than a newer, important character. To get the elephant out of the room, Casteris is a must-pull for all players. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you don't want to fall behind, you need to pull her, and she will never be power crept. You're probably aware of this, but the global passive is a reality. She prevents characters from getting killed even when she isn't on your team. She even gets buffed when any of her teammates gets attacked and she heals them. If you pull her, you're going to get buffed permanently. Scratch that, when you pull her, now everyone has to, you're going to get buffed. Castorice is going to be the most important character that you can ever pull on for your account, and you better hope that you have enough to guarantee her. You easily need over 150 pulls, or over $200. If you don't have that, you're doomed and you're hurting your account. Instead of being wise for saving, you're missing out, and that's what no gacha player can handle. Here's the problem, Castorice will sell no matter what because many of us are addicted as players or collectors. There's been various endgame modes that will basically one-shot you, especially when sustainers were on the premium banners. It's really just sad, because in the grand scheme of things 30 pulls won't matter even if you pull the newest character. Instead of using those pulls on a character you like, you're going to use it on a required character to avoid missing out. Instead of getting currency to pull characters you like, you're gonna pull characters that you objectively need. Don't even get me started on Eidolons or light cones. Characters without global passives will be skipped, which means less money, and soon it'll be expected that every character has a global passive. It's similar to weakness breaks, but this one's more predatory. Look at characters like Silver Wolf, Firefly, and Acheron. They were all incredibly broken, but as more characters came out, weakness breaks became the norm. This is worse than characters who ignore weakness breaks, because you still had the blessing of choice. You could skip Acheron but pull Rappa, or you could skip Rappa and pull Boot Hill. While it did remove strategy from the game, you still had the ability to choose. This is different because I'd imagine each global passive will be different, and you're going to need all of them if you want to succeed. This is going to be a never-ending cycle of chasing the permanent upgrade and fearing that you'll miss out on permanent buffs. From this point on, things will never be the same again. Characters like Casteris will never be power crept because their buffs last forever. If you're a Star Rail player, you better hope that you can get her. She is the epitome of a must-pull. If you want the strongest account, you have to get her. It is really sad that a game can get to this point, and this behavior coming from such a big gacha game is unacceptable. This isn't some niche game, it's a very mainstream game with a general audience. They could really leave this game on its own and recycle the same kits to characters, and people would still play this game for a very long time. The 50/50, top-up bonuses, and just general currency prices have all been modernized due to the Poyo brand. Look at the Eidolon system and look at the weapon banner system. It's all unnecessary, and it's such a dangerous issue for the Star Rail players to have. What if the character they want doesn't have a global passive, making them unpullable? What if one that they don't like has a global passive and they have to pull it? They'll have to skip the character that they like in order to get the good one to not fall behind. And I really don't think Casteris will be the only case of this. Look, I get why some people don't care about this. For the people who don't care about meta or keeping their account up to date, Casteris being broken doesn't matter to them. Players can play how they want, and there's no shame in that. The issue for many of us is that a key part of this game is account progression and being strong. Stamina is used to upgrade characters, and currency is used to pull characters so we can have more fun in the game. You log in to use your stamina, that's how it works. Now there's going to be people planning to skip dinner so they could have a chance to buy Casteris right now. It's just all dangerous, and I know that gacha is inherently predatory, but this game is so mainstream. They don't have to do this, it is a choice. This isn't some niche game, it's Honkai Star Rail. So many people who weren't in the niche of gacha before are playing this game casually, and I'd imagine this game is where they first started spending culture and spending money on games. It's easy to get into this game because it's free, but eventually they are going to be expected to spend money. It's all just really weird, and it's just sad to see it. We're not going to hear the stories of people who are going to make sacrifices to buy these characters now, but we do know the pre-existing horror stories of people giving up everything to pull their character. Like it or not, kids play this game and there's no shame in that. They'll see these characters who cost so much money and think that this sort of spending culture is normal. They could ask their parents to help them buy the character via Stellar Jades, not really knowing how low the chances are to get Casteris. The average human doesn't know how much a 5-star character can cost and how little Stellar Jades that we get, especially how little it matters in the grand scheme of things. If I were to tell someone, look, I have 1,000 Stellar Jades, they don't know what that means, but 1,000 is a lot. If a kid says, buy me 1,000 Jades to get Casteris, a parent's not gonna know what that means, and they might think, oh, that sounds like a good deal, I'm gonna buy it for my kid. I personally feel disrespected if I think about how Casteris' kit came to be, because I imagine the devs were thinking, how can we make her as strong as possible and induce as much FOMO so nobody can skip her? Now, I'm not hosting some sort of boycott and saying you have to quit Star Rail because ultimately what I do or what you do doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. People who might not be aware of the problems with spending culture, especially in the form of microtransactions, might not think about how much they're actually spending. There's also people who might support the game blindly because they love the game. I get that some people are gonna uninstall all the Hoyo games and some people are gonna uninstall Star Rail. Maybe they'll just go full free to play and not think about spending money on the game. All of this is fine. The problem is for the players who can't quit and those who can't stop spending money. Some people might think they're in too deep and they just can't bring up how much money they spent on the game. Thinking about how much unexpendable money and how much they've sacrificed to get the characters they want might be hard for them. These are the people who I'm worried about, and these are the people who need help. They might think their account will be worse off, and they end up working overtime just to make a little bit more money. All of that for a 50% chance that they'll get her. The cruel reality for most of us is that we're not gonna get lucky. And we won't get her early for sure. These people are gonna end up having to spend money. They're gonna use the spending event or the top-up reset bonus to justify why it's okay this time. They'll think that $20 never hurt anybody and that they're just gonna get lucky. They'll have to spend more money over and over, and this is going to eventually add up. For those people who might see this, those thoughts are what they want you to have. That's their trap. Please don't fall into this trap. They want you to lose track of how much money you spent for her. And for the people who were able to scrape by getting Casteris, there will be another character that comes out with the same requirements to be pulled. They'll require the same sacrifices because now they are truly must-pulls. That's the direction of Honkai Star Rail, so please stay safe.